Hi guys, it's me, Michael Malarkey, coming to you from St. County, Missouri, on this beautiful Sunday morning, Sunday afternoon. Uh, I'm here at my home. I'm recovering from prostate surgery, and you know, it's taken a while. And I had the TURP surgery, and I'm not fully recovered yet. Getting there. They okayed me to, exercise, but I pulled it once and got a clot. Had to have more surgery, and I don't want to pull it again because then they say I need more surgery again. So anyway, I'm just trying to take it easy. It's like listening to them is like not giving me what I need. So I don't know what to do. I'll just take it easy. They said to work out whatever I'm comfortable with. So I'm working out with 6 pounds, 3 pounds each hand, 20 sets, 20 reps, one set. You know, I'll build up, you know, as it goes. But I haven't exercised, I haven't worked out in about a year. We, my muscles are really weak, flabby, and all that. But anyway, I'm 6'3", 221 pounds. I mean, all the clothes on. I just don't think their equipment's right. I know I'm pretty heavy, but I don't think I'm that heavy. And I don't think their blood pressure machine's right either. Uh, they have to elevate my arm and put it underneath their armpit to take my blood pressure. They don't want to do it. They're women, so they don't want to do it. They dependent on these machines that don't work. Machines are all Chinese, they don't work. Um, so they don't like Chinese people. It's just that their stuff doesn't work. Got a whole household stuff, none of it works. Not to my satisfaction anyway. So anyway, I'm losing the stock market. I know to just hold cash and jet for the first quarter, but I'm just not good at waiting. So I put it in and lost again this year. It lost last year too in January. Lost everything I made in January. You know, both years. Lost everything I made in January. You know, so 2 years on, 2 years in, I'm down because I lose everything in January. So anyway, now I got to play catch up the rest of the year. You know, so I know better. I know to just take my money out the first quarter and just keep it out of stocks the first quarter and then try to buy them cheap. I mean, ideally, when they crash, you got money and you can buy cheap. So I mean, it does pay to keep some cash to get a bargain. I'm wondering like why these rich men are doing that because there's going to be down days and you just simply buy low, sell high. So in order to do that, you got to have some cash or access to it. Anyway, I enjoy my house. You know, so I had you know projects planned, but I lost all the money. So I'm not going to lose more. They're trying to get me that radiation, that RECA, that radiation money. My sister's coming by next week, trying to give me that. But they're giving us the least amount of. They're giving us the least amount they can, split 6 ways. You know? So like my sister's husbands are happy. I don't know what they think of me. I guess they're like Teddy Roosevelt. I guess they think I gotta get a job. I'm disabled. I've been my whole life. All my birth defects. Like, hey, you're a good-looking guy. You're physically fit. You're not disabled. But I am. I have been my whole life. I've poor birth defects. They're like, well, work anyway. Don't collect this money. Just live your life. Because we're going to try to make you miserable if you do that. And then you're really, that's not us making you miserable. You're just miserable because you don't work for us. Some people don't like that money. They make you and your family pay for insurance, and then they try to stop you from collecting it when you got a claim. That's what's wrong with the United States. It causes a bunch of animosity. But anyway, here I am. This is my home. You know, it's old furniture and Walmart furniture. There's a bunch of stuff I threw together. Yeah. I used to get people to tour, but you know, I don't do it anymore. But it's a 3-bedroom house, and you know, my mom passed away. I paid rent my whole life. You know, I was either in the army or living at home or paying rent. I lived in a homeless shelter for a couple of years. They threw me in jail. And my mom said, you can't come back here. Go out there to the Salvation Army. She's a Methodist. She likes them. She says these people she goes to church would steal from me. They act like they're giving you something. They're stealing something from you. You have to sign your name down. You ever go to like the homeless shelter or the Salvation Army? You have to sign your name. They turn it in to the government and they collect your Social Security. And you're just being robbed by an institution. Some people don't like institutions. They're like, well, just give me the money and I'll be able to run an apartment. They won't let you. They'll say the apartment costs too much. That's just price fixing. They're just bringing prices to rob you an institution. So you wonder why people don't understand this. Like why are these people like this? Because they're price rating. They're rating prices to rob it. It's like, hey, mister, whatever, that's a lot of money. I said, well, that's not enough. Surrender your benefit more. So you've already got to surrender your benefit. So then you say, well, I want you to pay. Well, that's not enough either. They just want you to work blindfolded. They just want you to step out on faith and go to work. And you'll be worse off trying to work. You're worse off trying to work. They say, no, we'll help you. They won't help you. They won't help anyone. They're not helping you at those, whatever, helping organizations. They're collecting your Social Security from the city or whatever. And they won't give it to you, they give it to them. And you get, you get a single bed, bunk bed, single bed. And you get you do get some food, but not much. And you take a shower, brush your teeth. You got a toiletry kit. But the other people steal from you there. You got anything there, they steal. They say they threw you out and you left your stuff there and they're just going to steal your stuff. You got whatever you got to take it with you or they steal it. So you can't like bring your clothes down there, just enough for a couple of days. And a toiletry kit, you can't. They make you take it with you every day. And if you leave it there, they steal it. The people that are helping you, they steal it. So you wonder why these people don't like these people inside. Like after a while, their eyes are open. You know, they see. You're just collecting money from the state to let me sleep in that bed, and the state just gave you that building, and the state probably just gave you that bed. It's just an old building that they didn't build. It's an old building, they didn't build it. It was vacant, and the state just gave it to them. And somebody, got some old beds and threw them in there. And then now they're using that to collect your Social Security. You say, well, wouldn't it be better or cheaper for you to just give the person their Social Security? You see, Missouri won't let you collect SSI or general relief. They won't let you collect it. They just refuse it. They just refuse it. California lets you collect it. That's what they're always complaining about. Because California lets you collect general relief. And then like these Nazis attack you, like you can't do this while you're on the leave, you can't do that while you're on the leave, you can't smoke, you can't drink, you can't have sex, you can't have a girlfriend, you can't do any of that stuff while you're on leave. You can't do it in California. They don't want you going to bars, they don't want you smoking, they don't want the girls all, they don't talk to you. They're being controlled by the state. It's not, they're caught in the grips of socialism too. The women, you wonder why women are like the way they are. They're caught in the grips of socialism. They don't want them to stay home and be a mom. They don't want them to stay home and be a wife to you. They want them to go out and get a job. And they want them to go out and get a job in order to reduce the population and increase the number of people renting. See, some of these women, they do own a home, but a lot of these women, they rent because they don't want to do the upkeep on a home. They don't want to cut the grass. They can't afford to pay somebody to cut the grass. The guy that wants to cut the grass costs more than they can afford. Same thing with shoveling the snow, breaking the leaves, all that. Taking the trash out. All that stuff that managers, they're honeydews. They're supposed to do that stuff. Women can't afford to pay for it. And since they can't afford to pay for it, they can rent. So what's the problem with renting? Well, you get to sleep in an apartment for 30 days, and then your rent is due again, you have to pay again. So at the end of a long period of time where you got nothing. You can rent for 40 years, have nothing. Whereas like somebody that either got a house, like me, or somebody that just paid for a house, well, after 10 or 20, maybe 30 years, that's theirs. All they gotta do is pay taxes. And if they want to live in it, they gotta have utilities. And, so I couldn't make it. My Social Security income was like $14,000 a year. I couldn't make it pay rent. So if I lose this house, I don't know what I'm gonna do. But, my family, they won't take me in. I've lost touch with my friends, and it's hard to say, hey, I haven't seen you in 25 years. Can I live with you? Rent me a room for $500 a month. But so what can I afford? Like it's about $1,100. It's almost $1,200 a month. It's $1,172 a month. So what can I afford? I can afford to pay about $125 a week to live in your spare room. I can't afford an apartment. Those like $1,100 or $900. I wouldn't be able to afford utilities or food. So anyway, I want to keep this house for the rest of my life. But anyway, I don't see any problem with that. It's other than taxes. So tax can essentially destroy a property, but they might come by and might try to lock you out of your own house, and you'll be down there trying to get the law upheld. No tax can essentially destroy property, like take your property away and lock you out of it. They're not supposed to do that. It's against federal court says that's illegal. Because people all say, well, we want to pay for school and park and police and fire and museum and all this. Nobody wants that anymore. Nobody ever did want it. They're just, so what they want to do, they want to have full employment. everybody work. But they don't have paying jobs for everybody. So they make up this stuff. Museum, zoo, uh, park, fire department, police department. You know, they make up this stuff. You know, restaurant, bar, you know, automobile. You know, they make you use an automobile, or you can't function in their society. Well, that's because they put what you need a long distance away from you. You say, well, put stuff closer to me so I don't have to buy a car. And they're like, no, we're not going to do that. Well, if we do that, it's really expensive. We're just trying to placate you. Here, this is really expensive. That's why you got to buy a car. Well, that's really expensive too. You know, so basically, what I've been trying to say on the internet is that communication, like YouTube or you know, your tablet or your phone, communication reduces the need for transportation. One thing I needed transportation for is Veterans Administration gives me a ride to the doctor, the VA doctor, and to the store and to get a haircut. You know, I'm supposed to have aid. I'm entitled to an aid from the Veterans Administration. But the Veterans Administration, they maladministrate. They say that you have to be mentally ill to get your aid. And my aid just not an aid, the aid is a social worker. The aid's a licensed clinical social worker. So it's not just the aid that helps you, you know, like Tiny Team, give you a ride too. They don't, it's not that. But anyway, they maladministrate. They don't give you your aid. They give you a social worker who will take you to get a haircut, take you to the grocery store, and take you to the doctor. It's better than nothing. But they want to disable you and say you're mentally ill to get that. See, I didn't run around and say like, hey, I'm mentally ill, give me some money. The Veterans Administration kept kidnapping me. The police kept kidnapping me and taking me to the Veterans Administration. So finally, I just go to the Social Security office and said, hey, I'm disabled. You know, because the police and the Veterans Administration keep kidnapping me and putting me on a locked ward. There's nothing wrong with me. Beat anybody up. I don't carry any guns or knives or anything. I didn't carry that stuff. It's not that I'm like morbid, but a guy I know was killed when I was about 12 or 13. And so, well, if I don't keep a gun, I'm not very likely to shoot somebody. So I don't. You know? And it's because, well, I learned like that, you know, guns kill people. You know, I didn't really know the kid. The neighbor girl was dating him. You know, I didn't really know the guy, but she was, you know, she was upset. But yeah, you know, that was a long time ago, and you know, it's I don't listen to their arguments. I know that the gun killed the guy. You know, so I just don't keep a gun. I'm not very likely to shoot somebody. So, you know, police used to come around and say like, they're like, well, what if you like rig up a booby trap in your house, and the guy breaks into your house and gets shot by your booby trap? They talk this kind of trash to you, and the police tell you, well, if the guy falls out the window and falls in the grass outside, you go to jail. So if you do that, we'll get the guy and throw him back in your house. That's the police will tell you. They're nuts. They're crazy. And they want to tell you that like there's a few different blows you can deliver, you know, punches that are likely to cause that. The police tell you this stuff. They're nuts. The police tell you this stuff because there's never a cop around you need one. They're not going to defend you. They're never gonna defend you. They're never gonna secure your property. All they're doing is protecting the viceroy. They're just protecting the viceroy. That's all they're doing. Alcohol, tobacco, sex, gambling, automobiles, oil. So you don't need an automobile. An automobile was supposed to be a rich man's toy. Now they want you to go fight wars with foreign countries for a rich man's toy. And they want to make, Henry Ford, that Nazi, wants to make everybody drive. They don't want to drive. You're going to destroy the whole planet trying to drive. But anyway, they make you need a car to function in their society. What do you mean? I know I don't have a job and I don't have a car, so I get very little attention from women. I mean, very. And if I get any attention from them, there's automatically a guy trying to stop them, from getting involved with me. It's the police, from the government, and like the unions, business, don't have anything to do with that because I don't drive or work more. It's because I won't, I've got a job, not a car, and also they got to go to all that, like, let's pay attention to me. Well, I know what that is. And I know that, like, whatever, if I go out in public and see my people, they make a pry out of me because I won't work for them. And I won't buy a car from them. And I'm anti-government. I am anti-government. I know that if I don't produce automobiles, I don't have near the pollution. And I don't need to go mining or doing any of that stuff. So I don't want to produce automobiles. I don't want to produce guns. I don't want to produce casual alcohol. And I don't want to produce tobacco. So the police hate me. That's what they're living off. They're living off poisoning you and oppressing you, and then putting you in jail for it. They poison you and oppress you, and they put you in jail for it. They got the Congress or the state legislature writing laws to that effect. It's like the Army. Like, they don't say that, like, well, the person was incapacitated because of casual alcohol abuse. Therefore, he's not liable for his misconduct. Saying, oh, they say if you do something when you're drunk, you're liable for it. As a matter of fact, you're culpable for it. They want to put you in jail. You say, like, Mister, I'm just a 19-year-old kid. And I'm tired all the time. And I had a couple beers and, stumbled. You're a problem. You're a problem. That's your problem. You suffer for that. You're someone's booze on base, and that's the only thing there is to do here. So, we got recreation. We got a golf course. Go to the golf course and work for free. That's your punishment. Go to the golf course and work for free. Golf's un-American. Sports are un-American. They had some stuff you can do on base, like supposedly you can go horseback riding. Supposedly they got stables and you can go horseback riding. But I don't know. I never saw it. I don't know where it's at. They've got some kind of publication where you can find, activities that you can do on base. But it's all men. There's like several men there. There's like 1,000 men there. You don't even want to go horseback riding to meet a man, don't you? But anyway, so this guy's drank, or this guy drank, and the Army, in its wisdom, says you're responsible for your misconduct. All right. And they're going to put you in jail. They're going to take your rank. They're going to take your pay. And they're going to do all that to you. You say, like, well, how did I get in this mess? Because the Army sold you beer. Why did the Army sell you? To make money for the officers. And the officers do this, and then they rob you, and they get more money for that. Yeah, that's what Richard Nixon wants. That's what Ronald Reagan wants. Ronald Reagan wants the officers to rob you, then he'll give them some of the money, and he'll put some of the money back in the, in the treasury. So he wants them to rob you, and he'll give some of the officers the money, and he'll put some of the money back in the treasury. Guy took too much rag. I mean, the guy was taking rag like you wouldn't believe. Rag's more money. And the guy's just taking rag. You're supposed to, like if you make E5, you're supposed to be able to go to the Department of Defense where you lose E5 or E6 or whatever. They just didn't hold law and just let them take it. I wasn't E5, but he just lets them take it. So if you make rag, they want to make it harder to take it away. But if you're an enlisted man, E4 or below, they just take it anything they want. And that's worth, a couple $100 a year. That's all you're making anyway. They think they're going to find you like a couple $100. That's all your money. And then they're like, if you don't have any money, so well, you can chow. And so you don't get any money for cigarettes, you don't get any money for beer, you don't get any money to, because it's just like having money. You just don't feel right without money, It's just the way they are. So well, you should learn to live without money. You should feel just fine without money. Well, people don't feel fine without money, right? It's because society asks them for it. They're asking you for money on base too. They're not supposed to. The officers are asking you for money on base, and they're not supposed to. They're not supposed to do it at all. They're stealing the meat. Like the Army buys a cow. The Army goes to the auction and buys a cow. And the officers steal the meat. Now I don't get it. I got some chicken wings in there I gotta go check on. That's the way it goes. The officers still need. There's nothing to do on base, like drink and smoke. They say, hey, there's a gym out there, a movie theater, and a bigger bar. Okay, they got a bigger bar restaurant. They got a movie theater, and they got a gym. It's too far to walk to the gym. After being on duty all day, it's too far to walk to the gym to do exercising. Or lifting weights. It's too far to walk. You're supposed to do physical training in the morning, So by the afternoon you get off at whatever 4:30. After you eat, you're gonna go to the gym and play some basketball. You're not gonna do it. They got a pool up there too. You're not gonna go up there either. There's a 10-year-old girl there. She's one of the sergeant's daughter or whatever. It's not like a 22-year-old girl up there. It's like a 10-year-old girl up there. Maybe all there's to do is drink and smoke. That's why you have problems. So that's well, as long as you're up at overtime, 4 or 5, whatever it is. As long as you're up early in the morning and you do PT and you make it to the formations, you're trying to do. They don't care how drunk you are. And it was like that in the workaday world too. As long as you get up at 6 o'clock, go to work, do your day's work, don't care how drunk you get. You end up taking the bus, that's your problem. You're in a nice place and a nice girl will give you a ride back for to work. Because you keep her in a house. Let's say you working at as Bush Brewery. Man, it's back in the day when Bush let you drink on the job. Well, you know, a lot of these guys, they just knew better than drive to work. So their wives or girlfriends would take them back to work. Car, you know. I guess in exchange, the guy makes a lot of money, so he's gonna keep it. You get a house over there in South St. Louis, and she live it. All she's got to do is take it back to work. Pretty easy, huh? So everybody's saying, yay, beer, right? Yay, beer. That's why everybody's yay, beer. Because it's the best shop in town. Beer. Those are the best shops in town. No Irish allowed. I don't know, my throat's getting smaller, my belly's getting bigger. Anyway, don't let me give you a bad day. You know? I just, you know, I'm a malcontent. I don't want your laws. I don't want your regulations. I don't want your Congress. I don't want your state legislature. I don't want your country. I don't want to go on a foreign adventure at all. For any reason. I don't support World War I. I don't support World War II. I don't support the Korean War. I don't support Vietnam. I don't support any of that. I just watched the American Revolution because I don't like the king and his bloody code. I just watched the American Revolution because I don't like law and order. The king's got law and order. You have to be a member in good standing of the Church of England to have any position of prominence. Well, you still do. If you can't be a convicted felon and have any good job, you're on a wait. You're not a convicted felon. They're trying to lie to say I am. They're making law just for me, right? They're really crazy. I mean, they're really insane. They think that, like, you don't even have to go to court and they're going to say you're convicted felon. See, these communists, you're like, they want to have an administrative court, like an executive court, a court run by like the county executive or the mayor or the governor or the president, the executive court, and they can just declare the authority. You don't even see a judge. You don't see a courtroom. You don't see a TV. They're just going to say, based on gossip, It's your felon. You might say, well, that's all right, I don't care about the people that are just confined because they're criminals. They are confined because they're criminals, but you know, the law's slanted. The law's made to protect the international abortion companies and Adolf abortion companies, both Nazis. And well, there's my picture right there. I'm going to show you later. I don't like Nazis. I don't like the counties writing laws for Nazis. So anyway, we're supposed to make be nice with them, but they're going to handle on us. Say what? Yeah, Nazis are working. And yeah, Nazis handle on us. Hope you're happy. Anyway, that's my story. I'm sticking to it. Ireland for the Irish. Have a nice day.